Hey, welcome back to Clever Cat class. Are you ready to learn something all new and be a very clever cat?
Armadillos are actually kind of adorable. Most of them are native to South America, though we have one, the nine-banded armadillo, here in North America. They prefer to live in grasslands and rainforests, even semi-arid areas, but they do choose to live in neighborhoods if there's enough shelter and food to suit their needs. I actually sometimes see one or two wander in my neighborhood where I live, and I think they look like little armored piggies. Someone else must think so too, since their name literally means little armored one in Spanish. Don't be fooled by my words, though. Armadillos aren't actually all that little. They can vary in size from the pink fairy armadillo, who's only 5 inches long and 3 pounds, to the giant armadillo, who's 59 inches long and 120 pounds. If you have trouble picturing that, another way to think of it is they could be as small as a chipmunk or as large as a medium-sized pig. Obviously, the nine-banded armadillo that lives near my house is on the smaller end of the spectrum, running about 2.5 feet long from the tip of its nose to the end of its tail and weighing up to 12 pounds. I hate to say it, but it's about the size of a cat. Armadillos also come in a variety of colors like a cat, including pinkish, dark brown, black, red, gray, or even yellow. What's especially cool, though, is that their entire body, including their head, back, legs, even tail, are covered with bony plates, and they actually hold the honor of being the only mammal whose body is covered quite like that. The correct name for that armor is scutes, and it's actually made up of plates of bone covered in scales. Now, in addition to the armor plating, the armadillo has some pretty long claws and muscular legs that are especially made for digging. If you have an armadillo in your neighborhood, especially the nine-banded armadillo that lives in the United States, you might notice that they make themselves a network of underground tunnels that riddle your yard with soft spots and holes, and humans find them kind of irritating. Mr. Armadillo doesn't care, though, since it spends about 16 to 18 hours a day hanging out in these burrows sleeping. And don't try to fence the yard off to protect it. Armadillos are excellent climbers, and they'll just dig under it or climb over it, and then right back in your yard they'll be. Don't try building a moat either. The nine-banded armadillo is well known for its water activities. It can actually hold its breath for up to 6 minutes and just walk along the bottom of the water. Or it can swallow air and inflate its stomach and intestines. That helps it increase its buoyancy and makes it easy for it to swim just pretty much wherever it wants. Another thing you can count is armadillos will follow the food. They don't have a lot of body fat, so they have to forage and eat every single day. And they're omnivores, so only about 10% of their diet comes from plant matter like food, seeds, and fungi, and the other 90% is small vertebrates and, of course, insects. Get rid of them and you get rid of armadillo. Another curious thing is that armadillos' teeth have absolutely no enamel. You know, that hard outer covering on your teeth? And they only have a few teeth that are shaped like pegs, or like your molars. So a diet heavier in fruits and other sweets would be a really bad thing for an armadillo. Now, given all that information about teeth, you might wonder how armadillos get enough food. See, like anteaters and aardvarks, they have a long, sticky tongue that is their primary hunting weapon. They use it to eat ants and termites right out of their home. In fact, if you live in the South, you might actually want an armadillo in your yard, because they'll even eat fire ants. See, while armadillos have awful eyesight, they have an excellent sense of smell that lets them find their prey. They're said to be able to use their sense of smell to track down almost 500 different kinds of food, including their favorite ants and termites, but also fare like beetles, cockroaches, wasps, yellow jackets, scorpions, snails, and grubs. Understanding an armadillo's senses can actually allow you to get awfully close to one if you want. You just need to stand downwind and move really slowly towards the armadillo, and you can get pretty close before they notice you. When they do finally notice you, the three-banded armadillo might curl itself into a perfectly armored little ball to protect itself, and other armadillos are going to run or quickly dig a hole to hide in until the threat, that's you, is gone. Coolest of all is when the armadillo jumps straight into the air when it's startled. I should point out at this point that you don't want to get too close to any armadillo because they're among the few species known to carry leprosy and be able to pass it along to humans, and you definitely do not want that. If you get the chance, try to see a baby armadillo at the zoo. They're born without the bony plates, though their skin will turn into hard armor within a few weeks. You're likely to find one because in zoos they live 12 to 15 years, though in wild they only last 4 to 7. In the wild in the South, they're nocturnal year-round, hiding out in their underground burrows during the day. But the nine-banded armadillo in the north part of America tends to change its habits during the winter and does come out during the day. Don't try looking too far north, though, because armadillos have a really low metabolic rate, which means they don't have a lot of their own body heat. They have to have the sun and warmth to survive. Your best bet is to look between Florida and Texas, though Texas might be the best bet since they've actually named the armadillo their state mammal.
Thank you so much for learning with me today. We're really getting quite clever, aren't we? Now it's time for you to check your schedule, and I will see you in your next class.